Chapter 61 You're listening at Novel Full. Audio. 61 Surprise Li Junyu. Qin Fong was still in her confinement period, so it was inconvenient for her to go downstairs. She asked her sister in law, Zhang Ping, to bring Madame Wan to put out the fire. The Xiao Yu that Madame Wan mentioned was Ruan Zhaotian's youngest son, whose full name was Ruan Mingyu. Sister in law Qin Fong told me everything about Yu Tang. It was Ruan Meng, that unfilial thing, who had cursed Xiao Yu, that had made them so angry that they had hit him. In my opinion, law and the others are not at fault in this matter. It's all that wretched girl, Ruan Meng's fault. Mom, you believe such words? Ruan Zhaotian turned around and looked at Zhang Ping, who was helping his mother in. He suppressed his anger. He married Qin Fong because he saw that Qin Fong was young, enchanting, and good at coaxing people. She did not have a good impression of Qin Fong's family, who liked to take advantage of her brother, sister in law and mother. Why don't you believe Wan? Grandmother Wan snorted. That wretched girl Ruan Meng pushed your wife down the stairs and wished that Qin Fong would die. What else can she not do? Mom, Meng has a knot in her heart with Qin Fong. She didn't push her down on purpose. But she hasn't even met Xiao Yu, and Xiao Yu is still a baby. Meng is my daughter, and I believe in her character. She would never curse Xiao Yu. Luo, are you not going to listen to your mother anymore? Madame Wan was anxious. Ruan Zhaotian's temper also rose. Mom, don't be too biased. No matter what, Meng is your granddaughter. If they hit Meng's head with a vase, it would be fatal. If you want to help them, then you have to pay the 20 million yourself. I don't care anymore. After he finished speaking, he didn't even listen to Madame Ruan's words and left. Ruan Zhaotian's departure put Madame Ruan in a difficult position. The Ruan family was rich, especially in the past few years when Ruan Shishir took over the company and started working on new media and live streaming platforms. They had made a lot of money. But she could help speak up for Qin Fong's family. However, asking her to use 20 million to make up for this hole was the same as cutting her flesh. Old sister, what should we do now? Luo, I can't go to jail. Luo. Since Madame Wan didn't say that she would pay, no one dared to mention it. Mother Qin could only watch as she wiped her tears. Don't worry. The Ruan family can't afford to lose face like this. We won't let you go to jail. Mrs. Qin was Ruan Mingyu's grandmother, and soon, she would be holding a 1-month celebration for Xiao Yu. She couldn't let his grandmother go to jail. You guys make a call and get Jiao here. I heard that the Gu family and the boss of Royal Tang seem to have some friendship, so I'll get Jiao to ask Gu Xian if the Gu family can pull some strings and suppress this matter. The next day, Ruan Meng woke up late again. After the tuition session last night, she had to review her lessons until very late. Miss, although it's a good thing that you're working hard, you can't be in a rush. You're still growing, so you should sleep early. In the private car, Ling Bei was sitting in the front passenger seat, trying to persuade Ruan Meng who was dozing off in the back seat. Ruan Meng yawned. It's okay. I'll never live up to Big Brother's expectations if I don't get serious. You've already hired such a great teacher for me, so I can't let you down, right? Ling Bei was touched when he heard that. The young miss was really a child that could be taught. With just a little guidance, she had improved. It seemed that she had only been ignored by the Ruan family in the past. By the way, Ms. Chow, who gave you a lesson last night, had a very good evaluation of you. He said that you were serious in class and had quick reflexes. The young master was very happy to hear this and told me to tell you that he's looking forward to your test results in a week's time. Ahem, Luo is it? Ruan Meng was finally awoken from her sleep. That's right, all the best, miss. I believe that you will be able to give the young master a surprise. Ruan Meng Meng, Ing Luo. Surprise. I'm afraid it's going to be a shock. Chapter 62. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. 62 Class Transfer Warning. Wisdom Private High School, Senior Year, 13. Lu Wenwen, the prettiest girl in Class 13, was provoking Mu Jingxing with a triumphant look on her face. Ha, what are you still looking at? The morning self-study session has already passed, and Ruan Meng Meng is still not here. She's definitely going to be expelled this time. You don't know sh*t. Ruan Meng Meng might already be sitting in class 1 of year 3. Mu Jingxing glared at her. Ha, listen to this. Mu Jingxing is still bragging about Ruan Meng Meng's class transfer. Lu Wenwen covered her mouth and laughed with her friend beside her. This is the first time I've heard of a transfer student offending the student council and still managing to maintain his foothold in Wisdom Academy. Although Ruan Meng Meng has a rich sugar daddy, no matter how arrogant she is, she can't be as arrogant as the student union, unless her sugar daddy is willing to spend more money to settle this for her. Your King farting. Mu Jingxing was furious. If not for the fact that he disdained to hit girls, he would have punched Lu Wenwen's face a few times. Damn it, I wonder what that group of people said yesterday. Ruan Meng Meng had called her stepfather's son dear in front of Gu Xian and Ruan Jiaojiao on purpose after school yesterday. However, that handsome man was young and beautiful. He had a face that was more delicate and handsome than a popular idol. According to Mu Jingxing's thoughts, at most, people would misunderstand and think that Ruan Meng Meng was in a relationship with a rich second-generation heir. Doviko he felt that it was good to be misunderstood like that. At least some people would be wary of Ruan Meng Meng's identity as her boyfriend and would not dare to touch her. Who knew that so many people had clearly seen that handsome man's appearance yesterday? In the end, when she arrived at school this morning, it turned out that Ruan Meng Meng was being kept by an old man, and he was an extremely ugly old man with a crippled leg and pockmarks on his face. Humph, she even dared to call her sugar daddy dear in front of so many students. She doesn't even know her own shame, so why would she be afraid of us? Yeah, Wenwen is right. Lu Wenwen's good friend also joined in the fun. The only rich man in S City who's famous for being lame, ugly, and pockmarked is Boss Huang from South Side, who made his living by mining coal. Boss Huang was in his 50s, and he had a son, a daughter, and a wife. Ruan Meng Meng being Boss Huang's mistress is a disgrace to wisdom. A person like him doesn't have the right to stay at Wisdom Academy. The three girls gathered together and talked one after another, making Mu Jingxing so angry that he could not show them what he was capable of. At this moment, a figure suddenly ran into the classroom from the front door. Big news. The person who ran in was their class's math representative. I saw Ruan Meng Meng in the mathematics department office just now. Why is Ran in the mathematics department office? Mu Jingxing and Lu Wenwen were both shocked. I saw Ing Luo. I saw Teacher Gao talking to her. Ing Luo seems to be really transferring to class 1. In the year 3 mathematics office, the head of the mathematics team, the form teacher of year 3 class 1, Gao Hanxiu, was having a conversation with Ruan Meng Meng. He was the head of the mathematics team and also the husband of Li Xiuli, the form teacher of class 13. Gao Hanxiu taught mathematics while Li Xiuli taught Chinese. They were both Ruan Shishir's teachers, so just like Li Xiuli, he did not have a good impression of Ruan Meng Meng. Ruan Meng Meng, I don't care what method you use to transfer to class 1, yeah, but since you're in my class, you have to listen to my requests. Class 1 is the most outstanding class in the entire school. I don't care what you do in class. I only have one request of you, that is, you must not affect the other students. Chapter 63. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. 63. Do you know Ms. Chow? Ruan Meng Meng looked at the math teacher in front of her. He was in his 40s and did not look old, but he exuded a serious aura. She felt that it was boring. She didn't transfer to another school willingly, but these teachers seemed to have a grudge against her. They were far worse than her previous form teacher, old Zhang. Teacher Gao, I understand what you're saying. Ruan Mengmeng replied indifferently. She couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense. Anyway, she would play her game in class, as long as no one bothered her. It's good that you know. Gao Hanqiu nodded. You can go to class and find an empty seat. Thank you, teacher. I'll take my leave then. Ruan Mengmeng turned around and was about to leave when Gao Hanqiu suddenly called out to her. What's the matter, teacher Gao? She turned around. Gao Hanqiu narrowed his eyes and warned with a serious expression, I have to remind you that you're not on good terms with Wan Jiaojiao from our class. I don't care what kind of conflict you have at home, but you're in the same class at school, so you're not allowed to fight in private. Student Wan Jiaojiao has excellent grades and is simple-minded, putting all her focus on the student union's work and her studies. She's not as complicated as you students outside. If you deliberately affect her studies in class, I'll definitely suggest to the principal to transfer you to another class. Gao Hanqiu was the golden signboard of Wisdom Academy, so his words had some weight in front of the principal. Hearing Gao Hanqiu's words, Ruan Mengmeng's beautiful eyes flickered. He was another fool who had been deceived by Ruan Jiaojiao's innocent and beautiful appearance. Ruan Mengmeng laughed coldly in her heart, but on the surface, she replied obediently, Teacher Gao, don't worry. As long as she doesn't provoke me, I won't have the time to provoke her. Her time was precious. That's the best. You can go. Gao Hanqiu's expression was cold. He was very dissatisfied with Ruan Mengmeng's attitude. Ruan Mengmeng ignored him. She had just taken a step when she suddenly turned around. Oh, by the way, Teacher Gao, there's something I want to ask you. Do you know Chao Weiping, Teacher Chao? Gao Hanqiu frowned and his serious expression softened. He's my mentor. He's been away from S-City for a few years. Ever since Ms. Chao retired, she had not been in S-City. Even Gao Hanqiu could not find her when he wanted to visit her. Ruan Mengmeng pouted. So the old man from last night was not bragging. He really taught the current top teacher of Wisdom High School, Gao Hanqiu. Come to think of it, it seemed a little unkind of her to force Ms. Chao to help her finish her math homework yesterday. Forget it, forget it. He was Gao Hanqiu's teacher anyway. In the past, he had helped Gao Hanqiu mark his math homework. In the future, it would be quite appropriate for Gao Hanqiu to mark his math homework. Why do you ask? You know Teacher Chao. Gao Hanqiu could not help but ask when Ruan Mengmeng did not reply. No, how would I know Teacher Gao's teacher? I just heard someone mention it, so I'm just asking. After Ruan Mengmeng finished speaking, she left, not giving Gao Hanqiu a chance to continue asking questions. Humph, she didn't want Gao Hanqiu to know that, according to seniority, she could be his junior sister. At the same time, in the classroom of the third year, a large group of students gathered around Ruan Jiaojiao's seat. Jiaojiao, I really saw your sister in Mr. Gao's office just now. Is your sister really going to transfer to our class? Yeah, Jiaojiao, our class 1's average score has always been the top in the whole grade. We also have the highest score in the district and city examination. If your sister comes, won't it drag down the overall standard of our class? I'm sorry. I, Ran, didn't know about this, Ran. Ruan Jiaojiao was surrounded by her classmates, and her eyes seemed to be soaked in water. 2 streams of tears flowed down her delicate and obedient face. Chapter 64 You are listening at novelfull.audio. 64 Chapter 65 Creating Rumors My sister doesn't live at home anymore, Ing Luo. I can't control her private life outside. I don't know how she could transfer to Wisdom Academy in our class with her grades, Ing Luo. Ruan Jiaojiao bit her lower lip, her face showing an apologetic expression. I'm sorry. I didn't expect her boyfriend to be so capable. I'm sorry, Hua Hua. Ruan Jiaojiao's eyes were filled with guilt for her classmates. The knuckles of her hands, which were hidden in the sleeves of her school uniform, were white and clenched tightly. The more guilty Ruan Jiaojiao looked, the more angry she was. The man who appeared yesterday actually had the ability to send Ruan Mengmeng into Wisdom Academy Class 1. Ruan Mengmeng, what right did she have? How could she be so lucky to have the best of everything after being chased out of the Ruan family? An extraordinarily handsome man, a rare luxury car in the world, and the power to switch shifts at will. Wisdom High was the best high school in S City, or even the entire S Nation. To be able to transfer a good .4. Nothing like Ruan Mengmeng to the first class of Wisdom High, it was obvious how much power that man had. Thinking about Ruan Mengmeng's unparalleled beauty, Ruan Jiaojiao knew that she was not as good as Ruan Mengmeng, even if she did not want to admit it. Ruan Mengmeng must have seduced that man with that face. Humph, but it doesn't matter. No matter how many boyfriends she has, someone like her who only has looks and no substance will be snatched away by Ruan Jiaojiao one day. Just like Gu Xian. Jiaojiao is teasing you, don't cry. Actually, this has nothing to do with you. We're not blaming you. Ruan Jiaojiao's train of thought was interrupted by the other students counseling. Yi Feng's heart ached when he saw Ruan Jiaojiao's tears, and he could not help but say, Jiaojiao, you're just too kind. What kind of boyfriend was Ruan Mengmeng dating? Who didn't know that that man was actually her sugar daddy? A teenage girl being kept by such an old man, she really doesn't know shame. When Yi Feng went back last night, he found an internet water army on Chiba to create a commotion. As soon as he spoke, someone immediately echoed. That's right, I heard about it too. Someone revealed on our school's Chiba last night that it's Ruan Mengmeng, the sugar daddy of the coal mine owner at South Side. That Huang guy. Oh, Boss Huang. I know, the one with pockmarks and a lame leg. I heard that he's on very good terms with our school's board of directors, Ing Luo. Because of this, everyone started discussing the gossip on the school's Chiba. Soon, the rumor that Ruan Mengmeng was a kept woman by Boss Huang, the coal miner, was confirmed. Someone even said, let me tell you, Ruan Mengmeng was already very wild in middle school. My childhood friend was her junior high school classmate. I heard that when she was in junior high school, she asked Senior Gu to go to the small forest behind the school to confess her love. In the end, he suddenly took off his coat in front of Senior Gu. Do you know why? She was not wearing anything. Yeah, no way. They were all young people, so they burst into laughter when they heard this gossip. Of course it's true. I heard that she even asked Senior Gu how her figure was and if she looked good. Ha ha ha. The crowd burst into laughter. Your classmate knows so much. He was hiding behind the tree and peeking. At this moment, a soft and gentle voice suddenly came from the crowd. Of course not. My classmate heard it from someone else. The boy who told the gossip casually waved his hand. Oh, then the person who told your classmate must have been there. Otherwise, how could he know everything? I don't think so. Who would get close to see this kind of thing? The boy didn't notice the problem, but the people around him who were listening to the gossip all turned to look at the source of the voice. It was only at this moment that everyone realized. BDNVL.M at the center of the conversation, the female lead, Ruan Mengmeng, had already walked into the classroom. Chapter 65 You are listening at novelfull.audio. 65 Chapter 66. A beautiful person can rely on her face. Ruan Mengmeng stood at the door of the classroom, looking at them with a smile on her face. The others immediately quieted down. They were caught badmouthing someone behind their back, and it made their faces burn. Ruan Mengmeng did not care about the others and walked toward the boy who had started the rumor. She stared at him and suddenly winked at him. Her bright and clear almond-shaped eyes were like the purest of gemstones, exuding a charming luster. Her eyelashes were long and thick, and when one looked into her beautiful eyes, one would easily sink into them. She had never seen such a beautiful face at such a close distance. The boy who was being stared at by Ruan Mengmeng immediately blushed. "Tell me, if I really want to seduce Gu Xian, do I need to take off my clothes and ask him if I'm good looking?" Ruan Mengmeng's voice was very soft and sweet, and coupled with her beautiful face, it was simply the most fatal temptation. The boy's heart skipped a beat when he heard her question. At this moment, he suddenly understood something. As long as the girl in front of him wanted to, she could probably easily capture the heart of any man in this world. No, there's no need for Qianqian. His brain didn't have time to think, and the words in his heart blurted out. "Thank you," he said. Ruan Mengmeng's lips curled up, revealing two shallow dimples at the side of her mouth, and her eyes curved. When she really smiled, she was not as obedient and gentle as she usually was. She was like a rose in full bloom, bright and beautiful, so beautiful that people were unable to resist her. Even her soft and gentle voice seemed to have a magical power that could easily capture people's hearts. Everyone present suddenly understood something. With such beauty, why did she need to take off her clothes to seduce a man? Only women who were not good looking enough would use their bodies to make up for it. The others were suddenly speechless, and they could no longer believe the rumors in the woods. Ednl.co. After Ruan Mengmeng finished her sentence, she walked past the boy and headed straight to the back of the classroom. From the beginning to the end, not a single student dared to stop him. Even Ruan Xiaojiao was so shocked by Ruan Mengmeng's performance that she was speechless. "Hey, wait, you can't sit in Yingluo's seat." Seeing that Ruan Mengmeng was about to sit in the last row, the boy who had started the rumor just now could not help but stop her with a red face. He was a little reluctant to let this fairy-like girl in front of him suffer. "Why?" Ruan Mengmeng raised an eyebrow. In the entire classroom, there were only 2 empty seats in the last row, and it looked like there was no one there. "That seat is Yu Juanche's. He doesn't like people sitting next to him." The blushing boy was Xia Wenxuan. He couldn't help but explain for Ruan Mengmeng. "Yu Junche." Ruan Mengmeng pursed her lips. She suddenly felt that the name was a little familiar. "Xia Wenxuan, don't worry about her. She can sit wherever she likes, there's no need to explain so much to her." Yi Feng was the first to recover, and he said to Xia Wenxuan. The rest of the people also came back to their senses at this time. Some of them even looked at Ruan Mengmeng with gloating eyes, as if waiting to see how she would offend her Prince Charming later. Ruan Mengmeng didn't mind. She could tell that Xia Wenxuan was good to her. "Other than these 2 seats, are there any other empty ones in the class?" N.No, Yingluo. Xia Wenxuan didn't expect Ruan Mengmeng to ask him. His face turned red, and even the tips of his ears turned red. "Oh, thank you. I'll sit here." With that, Ruan Mengmeng sat down by the window. Anyway, the 2 seats next to each other were empty, so he could just pick one. Xia Wenxuan was about to say that he could switch with her when footsteps came from the door. Everyone turned around and saw a handsome and slightly feminine-looking young man in a school uniform walk in with a cold face. Chapter 66. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. 66. Everyone is in a mess. When they saw Yu Junche walk into the classroom, half of the girls in the class blushed. A few of them who were not mentally strong even gasped in an unusually obvious manner. They covered their chests and pressed down on their pounding hearts. Even Ruan Xiaojiao looked up at the beautiful young man who was slowly approaching. Looking at his deep eye sockets, high nose bridge, and handsome and exquisite facial features, she couldn't help but be secretly moved. Compared to Gu Xian, Yu Junche clearly had a more outstanding appearance. In addition, he was a genius in Wisdom Academy. Although she was not as scary as Ruan Shishir, she was still able to look down on all the third-year students at the age of 16. It was precisely because of this that the handsome and intelligent Yu Junche had the title of Prince Charming in Wisdom Academy. Such a man was undoubtedly outstanding. Unfortunately, Yuan Jiaojiao knew very well that no matter how outstanding the other party's appearance was, she could not be with him. This was because the surname Yu was not only unknown in S city. In the entire S country, he had never heard of a large family with the surname Yu. Yuan Jiaojiao's goal was very clear. She would only date and fall in love with high-quality men. She would only marry into a noble family. Yu Junche wasn't from a prestigious family, so no matter how good-looking he was, she wouldn't take a fancy to him. While Yuan Jiaojiao was secretly evaluating Yu Junche, he was completely unconcerned about the gazes of the people around him. That pair of slightly squinted eyes that seemed to not be fully awake peeked out from behind his slightly messy short hair. There was a layer of lazy mist, as if he had just woken up, relaxed and casual. He had played games too late last night, and Xiaoxi had actually leveled up a lot overnight. This made Li Junche, who was the older brother and had broken up with Li Juanxi, extremely unhappy. Unfortunately, he had stayed up all night and was late for school. Not only did he fail to play the game, but he even lost a small section. With his eyes still half closed, Li Junche walked to his personal seat as usual. He was shocked to find that there was actually someone who dared to sit in his seat. Although he was only 16 years old, he had inherited the height advantage of the Li family and was already 1.83 meters tall. He looked down at the back of the head, who was looking for something in his bag with his head lowered, completely unaware that he had taken someone else's seat. Li Juanxi's long and narrow eyes narrowed slightly, and he was instantly displeased. Get lost. The clear and melodious voice of a teenager had a faint magnetism to it. Unfortunately, his tone was nasty and mixed with undisguisable disgust. At that moment, Yuan Mengmeng was looking for her phone in her bag. She was extremely sleepy before she went to bed last night and had left her phone on the cabinet to charge. She had left in a hurry this morning and did not know if she had brought it with her. Just as she was anxiously looking for him, she suddenly heard a voice filled with deep displeasure coming from above her. Get lost. What the heck, someone actually dared to talk to her like that. Yuan Mengmeng raised her head and was about to throw a tantrum at the man. A good-looking young man had appeared in front of her. Cotton candy. When he saw Yuan Mengmeng's fair and beautiful little face, the beautiful young man's thin lips opened slightly and he muttered. The familiar words, coupled with that unparalleled beauty, immediately confirmed the identity of the person in front of her. She couldn't help but stand up. Li Zhenzhen. Have a seat. I'm your new desk mate, Yu Junche. Li Junche took the opportunity to sit beside Yuan Mengmeng. His movements were as smooth as floating clouds and flowing water. He did not procrastinate at all, as if he did not care that there was another girl beside him. Seeing that Yuan Mengmeng was still in a daze, he even took the initiative to reach out and pull her back to her seat. He didn't care at all that the seat that the girl was sitting on was actually his. In an instant, the entire class 1 of the third year was in a mess. Chapter 67. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 67. Chapter 68. Hiding his identity. The entire grade 12 class 1 knew that Yu Junche had a cold personality and didn't like to get close to others. He didn't like to let others get close to his personal seat. Because of him, almost no one dared to approach the 2 seats in the last row by the window. But now, a new transfer student was sitting there. And that transfer student was personally dragged by her idol to sit down and was even chatting with her in a friendly manner. At that moment, even Yuan Jiaojiao's eyes widened in disbelief at the scene. She couldn't stand it. She didn't understand why Yu Junche would accept Yuan Mengmeng. Why didn't he make things difficult for Yuan Mengmeng? Why didn't he chase her away? What are you doing here? You're only 16 years old. Yuan Mengmeng's eyes widened and she lowered her voice to ask him. She had never thought that her new desk mate would actually be the crazy sweet demon, Li Junche. On the first day they met, this guy treated her like cotton candy and even asked Lee Junyu if he could eat her. After being rejected by Lee Junyu, he did not bother with her. The two of them barely spoke at home. He did not expect that they would become desk mates. Lee Junchae placed his bag into the drawer and said unwillingly, "There's a phrase in this world called skipping grades. Also, call me Yu Junchae in school. Xiaoxi and I don't want anyone to find out our identities." "You're saying that my brother is also at Wisdom Academy?" Ruan Mengmeng had a lot of questions, and Yu Junmo's handsome face was filled with impatience. However, he really didn't want anyone to know his identity, as that would bring too much trouble. He could only explain. Xiaoxi is in the 7th grade. Li Juanxi was only 8 years old, and he was in the 7th grade of junior high. That meant that he had skipped a grade too. Ruan Mengmeng was speechless. Why were all the Li family members such monsters? Li Junchae. Ruan Mengmeng wanted to ask him which class Li Juanxi was in. If possible, she wanted to take advantage of the lunch break to go to the junior high department to look for him. "Call me Yu Junchae." Unfortunately, before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the beautiful young man beside him. Li Junchae raised his eyebrows. His phoenix eyes, which were more beautiful than a woman's, were slightly raised, and there was a hint of threat in his relaxed manner. "I'm warning you, don't pretend to be close to me in school. I'm only letting you sit here for my father's sake. I want to catch up on sleep. Don't talk, don't make a sound, and don't disturb me." With that, he casually crossed his long legs and changed into a more comfortable position. Then, he laid on the table and began to catch up on sleep. It was obvious that he did not want to continue talking to Ruan Mengmeng. Ruan Mengmeng furrowed her brows slightly, not understanding Li Juancha's strange attitude. The first time he saw her at home, he even took the initiative to poke her in the face. He looked like he really wanted to be friends with her. Yet, when he arrived at school, he became so cold. But it didn't matter. She was playing games in class anyway, so she couldn't be bothered with him. When Gao Hanqiu entered the class, he saw the strange scene in the last row. Yu Junchae never liked to listen to lectures in class and liked to sleep in class. However, he always got full marks on exams. As usual, he was lying on his stomach in the last row, sleeping soundly. The petite figure sitting next to him had her head buried in her hands and was staring at the bottom of the table with a serious expression. From that posture and movement, it was obvious that he was playing with his phone. Gao Hanqiu raised his eyebrows and his forehead twitched. He did not expect Yu Junchae to agree to Ruan Mengmeng sitting in that seat. However, when he saw Ruan Mengmeng, Gao Hanqiu was a little upset. Although he had personally said that no matter what Ruan Mengmeng did in class, as long as she did not disturb others, he would not care about her. However, when he saw her focused and serious look with her head lowered, he felt so angry. He really wanted to go over and confiscate her phone. Chapter 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 68. Chapter 69. Standing as punishment. Gao Hanqiu did not like Ruan Mengmeng, but he could not do anything to her because of what he had said. He could only pretend not to see and continue his lesson. Just as Ruan Mengmeng was playing with her phone under her desk, a weak voice suddenly rang in her ears. "Give me a kasaya." The young man's white and slender fingers suddenly grabbed her wrist. He tugged hard, causing Ruan Mengmeng's hand to slip and her ultimate move to be released. "What the f***ck, what are you doing? You've let go of most of mine. It's uncomfortable. Give me a kiss." The handsome young man's fair skin was tinged with a touch of red, and his slightly raised phoenix eyes were looking at her as if he was dreaming. She looked like she had been drugged and was dyed red. Ruan Mengmeng was shocked. Did this child have a fever? She touched his forehead and realized that Li Juancha's body temperature was frighteningly high. Just as he was about to report to Director Gao, he suddenly heard a loud shout, "Ruan Mengmeng, what are you doing? Gao Hanxiu finally got hold of Ruan Mengmeng's weakness and reprimanded her sternly. I've said it before, I don't care what you want to do in class. However, I will not allow you to affect any of the students in class 1 of the 3rd year. Teacher Gao, you've got it wrong, ran. Ruan Mengmeng was speechless. It was obvious that Li Junche had a sudden fever and was not feeling well. She was just concerned about her classmate. Furthermore, it was Li Junche who had harassed her first. As she explained, she looked at Li Junche, wanting to tell Gao Hanxiu about his situation. But when she lowered her head, she was stunned. The handsome young man who was lying on the table with his eyes wandering and his face blushing was now sitting properly as if nothing had happened. Her reddened skin had long returned to its fair and clean state, and she looked sober and cold. It can even be like this. Ruan Mengmeng immediately understood that Li Junche was setting her up. You still dare to quibble. Look at you, just because of you, everyone's class is affected. Since you don't want to listen to the class, then stand outside. Go stand in the corridor as punishment, stand there until the class is over. Gao Hanxiu did not give Ruan Mengmeng any chance to explain. Moreover, Li Junche had suddenly become fine, so Ruan Mengmeng had no way of explaining herself. Alright, she was unlucky. Ruan Mengmeng glared at Li Junche and walked out without a word. Unexpectedly, just as she stepped out of the classroom, Li Junche stood up immediately. What's wrong, Junche? Is there anything you're dissatisfied with? If you don't like to sit with Ruan Mengmeng, you can bring it up and the teacher will change her seat. Yu Juanche's grades were very good, especially in mathematics. He had won awards several times. Gao Hanxiu treated him very well and tried his best to satisfy him in all aspects. No need, the beautiful young man's delicate features were expressionless as he said coldly, I'll also go out and stand as punishment. You're going to stand as punishment. Gao Hanxiu's eyes widened, thinking that he had heard wrong. Not only Gao Hanxiu, but the other students were also surprised. Junche, you didn't do anything wrong. You don't have to stand outside as punishment. Gao Hanxiu consoled Yu Junche. However, Yu Junche didn't appreciate it at all and directly pointed it out, just now, I was the one who took the initiative to talk to Ruan Mengmeng. I was also the one who harassed her. If she needs to be punished, then I should be punished too. Then, without caring about what Gao Hanxiu and the others thought, he strode out. I didn't hear wrong, did I? Yu Juanche's actually defending Ruan Mengmeng. That's impossible. It's only the first day they've met. There's no way our idol would fall in love with Ruan Mengmeng at first sight. It's over, my idol has taken a fancy to Ruan Mengmeng. How many girls are going to fall out of love this time? Mom, my heart hurts. I also want to stand with my male god as punishment. The students' discussion filled the entire classroom. This was the first time that Class 1, which had always been focused on studying, was in a situation where everyone was not in the mood to attend class. Hearing her classmates' whispers, Ruan Jiaojiao frowned and looked towards the corridor with a worried expression. It was as if she was worried about her sister. From an angle that no one could see, her tightly clenched nails had already pierced her palm. Gao Hanxiu, who was standing on the podium, was completely dumbfounded. Would it be too late if he called Ruan Mengmeng back now? Yu Junche was the student he was most proud of. He couldn't bear to punish him. Chapter 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 69. Gossip with the Prince. Charming Ruan Mengmeng stood in the corridor with her back against the wall. She took out her phone from her pocket. There was no one in the corridor during class, and she was playing games outside, so she was happy to be at ease. Just as she took out her phone, she heard footsteps. When she looked up, she saw Li Juanche's tall and thin figure walking out of the classroom's front door. He turned his head, and their eyes met in the air. Ruan Mengmeng narrowed her eyes and looked at Li Junche warily. Li Junche, on the other hand, walked to her side as if nothing had happened. He leaned against the wall, one hand in his school pants pocket, his expression relaxed. "Why did you come out?" Gao Hanqiu's attitude when he spoke just now was clearly biased towards Li Junche. She did not believe that Gao Hanqiu would be willing to punish a genius student like Li Junche, who could skip a grade, to stand. Li Junche did not answer. He glanced at her, then took out a lollipop from his pocket, removed the wrapper, and stuffed it into his mouth. The sweet smell instantly filled her taste buds. Just then, Ruan Mengmeng heard a sigh of comfort. Ruan Mengmeng was dumbfounded. She turned around and stared at Li Junche, who was enjoying a lollipop, in shock. The beautiful young man's skin was fair and handsome, but just like in the classroom, it was flushed red. As expected. She wasn't seeing things in the classroom just now. She wasn't mistaken. "What are you looking at Ying Luo for?" Just then, Li Junche turned his head over and gave her a cold look. "Don't think too highly of yourself. I'm not here to accompany you. I'm just here to eat candy." He had a sweet tooth, and when he wanted to eat it but couldn't, it was as if he was addicted to it. Even his body would have an uncomfortable reaction. Unfortunately, in school, even if he was Yu Junche and not Li Junche, he didn't want anyone to know that he loved sugar as much as his life. To maintain her cold and aloof persona, she could not eat sweets as she pleased. "You mean Ying Luo, you were inside just now, and you did that and that." Ruan Mengmeng thought of Li Junche's blushing face when he said to her, "I want it." It's so uncomfortable, and she felt so embarrassed. It's actually just Yingying's sugar addiction acting up. It's good that you know, but don't tell anyone else. Li Junche's cold eyes glared at her, warning her. Just as he finished speaking, the bell rang. Li Junche crushed the lollipop in his mouth, removed the plastic stick, and stuffed it into Ruan Mengmeng's hands, who had yet to come back to her senses, along with the sugar coat wrapped around it. Then, he walked away. As soon as he left, Gao Hanqiu immediately rushed out of the classroom. Gao Hanqiu was worried that Yu Junche would be led astray by Ruan Mengmeng. Unexpectedly, when he walked out of the door, only Yu Junche's back view was left. And the young girl who was still standing there stupidly, holding a phone in one hand and a lollipop wrapper and a stick in the other. "Ruan Mengmeng!" Gao Hanqiu shouted in anger, "I asked you to stand as a punishment, not to play games and eat candy." The rumor that Ruan Mengmeng's class teacher, Old Gao, almost had high blood pressure due to anger spread throughout the entire school on the first day she was transferred to class 1 of the 3rd year. However, what was even more exaggerated than this news was the scandal between her and the Prince Charming of Wisdom, Yu Junche. It was said that Yu Junche, who had never eaten sweet food, went to the school's convenience store to buy a lot of candy in order to get close to Ruan Mengmeng. He just left it on Ruan Mengmeng's desk for her to enjoy. It was said that not only did her Adonis buy candy from the convenience store, but he also went to the school cafeteria and ordered desserts for lunch for the entire semester. Wisdom Academy was a private high school. As long as the students had money, they could arrange any lunch. The Prince Charming had set the lunch desserts for the entire semester, which meant that he would most likely have lunch with Ruan Mengmeng for the entire semester. At the thought of this, the other girls in the high school department were so jealous of Ruan Mengmeng that their teeth itched. A younger brother is also very cute, okay? Besides, her idol was so handsome. After a day of Li Junche's torture, Ruan Mengmeng, who had finally returned home, had to face a new problem. At this very moment, Ling Bei was announcing Li Junyu's new decision in front of her. Young master went abroad for a week. Before he left, he specifically told Miss to study hard. So, from today onwards, you'll have to take extra lessons every night for 4 hours. As soon as Ling Bei finished speaking, Ruan Mengmeng saw Miss Chao standing behind him, and her shoulders trembled. Chapter 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 70 meeting her online dating partner in person. Old Chow and Ruan Meng Meng were the only ones left in the room. As her math results were the worst, Li Junyu suggested that she spend 2 hours a day to make up for her math, and the remaining 2 hours would be used to take turns with other classes. Ms. Chow, this is today's math homework. Our form teacher is so troublesome. These few sets of papers were all set by him, so you can do as you see fit. It'll be fine as long as you get half of them right. Ruan Meng Meng took out the 5 sets of test papers that Gao Hanxiu had given to her classmates before school ended. Although Gao Hanxiu had said that he would not care about her, he still gave her the papers. She even warned her sternly that she had to finish it and not be perfunctory. Old Chow pushed up his black-rimmed glasses and took the test paper awkwardly. The old man sighed silently in his heart. It's not easy to earn money from rich people. However, this job was not something he could quit just because he wanted to. Seeing that Ms. Chow had already started writing, Ruan Meng Meng took out her phone and began her money-making routine every night. He had just logged into his Lord Meng Rules the World account when Invincible Bao Bao sent him a party invitation. Ruan Meng Meng accepted and the two of them formed a team. Invincible Bao Bao, why are you only here now? I've been waiting for you the whole night. You didn't miss a single minute when you logged off yesterday, but you're late today. They had just formed a team when the rich boss's complaint came. Ruan Meng Meng glanced at the time. It's only past 6 now. I'm just in time. I'm not late. Nonsense, it's already past 6:30. It's already past 45 seconds. Do you have any sense of time? The sponsor's boss seemed to be very angry. After saying this, he sent her an exploding emoji. Ruan Meng Meng was speechless. Okay. I'm late by 45 seconds. I'll compensate you. I'll log off 1 minute late tonight. In another suite, Li Juanxi was staring at his phone screen with a proud expression. Humph, you're clearly late, but your attitude is bad. You're only paying me 1 minute for being late by 45 seconds. You're so stingy. Once Ling Bei finds out your identity, I'll definitely catch you and play with you every day. The handsome Zheng Tai stared at the screen and muttered to himself. He had no idea that his big brother had long been prepared to cut him off. He wanted to meet his online dating partner before him. At the same time, Li Junyu, who was already on his private jet, was listening to Ling Bei's report through the satellite phone. Young master, everything is normal at the company. As for the 2 young masters and young ladies, they were performing well and did not slack off in their studies. Miss Meng Meng also said that when the test results are out next week, she will definitely give you a surprise. I can see that she's very hardworking. Li Junyu hummed in acknowledgement, his tone indifferent. It sounded like he didn't care much about this news. But in her mind, a sweet smiling face with dimples inadvertently flashed. He frowned slightly and suppressed the longing for the kitten in his heart. He asked coldly, how's the investigation of Xiaoxi's online dating partner coming along? Oh, about that, the data center is currently working on a data migration. We bought a new server room and server. The data in the original server room needs to be temporarily sealed and transferred. And then give me the exact time. Li Junyu did not have the patience to listen to the process. He only wanted the results. Ling Bei immediately replied, 1 week. The data center said that the data transfer will be completed in a week. We'll re-investigate. 1 week. Li Junyu's cold eyes flashed with a hint of malice. That's good, he would be back in a week. When the time came, he would personally meet the person who incited his brother to date online. By the way, young master, I've already sent the birthday present you asked me to prepare for young master Yueza to the European branch. Ling Bei's voice interrupted Li Junyu's thoughts. Do you want to take it to the castle yourself or have someone deliver it for you?